Hello, I'm Vale Forbeck from The Slate. In this video, I will share some of Old Bedford Village's history and what the village has to offer their visitors. In order to enter the village, one must first pass through one of the 14 covered bridges located in Bedford County. What's your name?
I am the old widow Biddle, otherwise known as Becky Edwards.
Becky Edwards explained her work at Bedford Village and the history of her house.
I am a historical interpreter. I work here in the Biddle house and interpret history and the history of this house to the public. This house is one of the houses, the original houses that they brought here. Out of our 40 structures, about half of them were actual buildings other places. And so this house was about 10 miles away over on a farm. It's still a farm today. Harry and Marie Biddle bought this farm, the farm that this house was on, in the 1940s. And they farmed it till 1970. This house was a modernized house. It did not look like this. There's a lot of log houses all over Pennsylvania that are covered over and modernized. So by 1970, they wanted to sell their dairy herd and retire, and they did not want to retire in this big old 12-room farmhouse. So they were going to had to have it torn down, and then they heard, donate your old buildings. We're going to make Old Bedford Village. So they sent it over here, and they were pleased they didn't have to have it torn down. So to get the log houses here, they numbered the logs after they tore out the modernization, numbered the logs and took them down and brought them here. The big double German fireplace was still in the house. There's a kitchen side and a living, sleeping side, and there would have been a wall in between, and there was a wall up front there too, and that was your old German floor plan.
Becky Edwards explained how Old Bedford Village began.
Old Bedford Village was started in the either late 60s or early 70s. America was all excited, those of us that remember the 70s. We were going to have our bicentennial and be 200 years old. Another big factor was unemployment was 21 to 23% in Bedford County. I think it's 3.8 or 9 today. And there were no Burger King, and there was no McDonald's, and there was no Sheetz to get jobs. So basically, it was funded with economic money, grant money. And of course, locally they cared about the history, so they did the best they could with the history. It's a nice, quiet place. We don't have as many people as we used to in the 1970s and 80s when it was new. But it can be busy on our special events. But a lot of people enjoy the peace and quiet. Young families can come with little kids and not have to worry so much. And also, hopefully, we get across to them just a little spark of history, even just asking the kids, do you take a shower? Do you have a dishwasher? Do you flush your toilets? If you had to carry all that water in buckets every day, how would that be? And I'm the village schoolmistress too, so I do teach a little school class to the school kids. And just to hopefully wake up the idea of what life was like in their life a little bit.
Benedict Forbeck recently visited Old Bedford Village for the first time. Benedict shared what he did and what he enjoyed the most.
Where we got to see all the clay pots that the guy that was there made, and they were really interesting. And I actually got to make one.
Don't forget to visit Old Bedford Village and experience its rich history for yourself.